An avoidant or a narcissist. There is very specific differences here that most people miss. So I'm going to break it all down for you and give you some clarity. Watch this video. Everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, my inner child came out to play. So we are wearing our little Munchie. This was one of my favorite things when I was a kid, so I went with it. But anyway, I get numerous questions every week about, Candace, am I dating an avoidant or is this person a narcissist? And how do I know the difference? So there are very specific differences and they can feel similar. But the main thing I want to note is the intention behind behaviors is very different. And the behaviors, even though they can feel similar, there's one that feels more cutting and cruel to the nervous system, even though they might feel the same to the mind. Let me explain. The first thing is first, a narcissist is driven by control, manipulation, and superiority. The avoidant is driven by fear of emotional enmeshment or of being dysregulated or of losing their autonomy or their independence. So they fear the deep emotions in you that they don't think they can regulate. Instead of sitting there and being with you in it, they oftentimes will become very distant emotionally. And this isn't personal. It's their inability to regulate their own deep emotions, which is why they're in avoidance of their own deep emotions, right? The second thing that I want to just spell out for you guys is how the narcissist and the avoidant view you very differently. The narcissist views you as supply for admiration, to feel superior, to control, to use you for their own need for validation. And the avoidant doesn't work that way. The avoidant is just trying to avoid scary shit. The avoidant is deeply afraid of being left or abandoned. At some point, they were abandoned in their own family from their own deep emotions, and now they do that to themselves. So having the mirror of that is very triggering and scary when you're in the ownership of big emotions and they're not used to that because it's not familiar. It's scary. You're seeing that intimacy, deep emotional intimacy is feared by both sides, an avoidant and a narcissist. But let's go into empathy, because narcissists have very low grade empathy or no empathy, to be honest with you, because it's way back there in the shadow. They had to suppress that long ago. And the avoidant does have empathy. They have the ability to, distract themselves, leave, take themselves out of it, and then reflect, but it is suppressed. So they cannot catch their empathy in the moment when they're dysregulated emotionally. You'll never see them dysregulated, but they are. They'll never feel it in the moment, but they have the ability, like I said, to take space, reflect, and then come to their senses, truly. When it comes to conflict, you will notice every single time, the narcissist is gaslighting, they are blame shifting, and they're very aggressive in sometimes overt or covert ways, and they're only having one point, and that is to manipulate you. Whereas the avoidant is trying to, they may dismiss, but what they're really trying to do is get away. So they withdraw, they shut down, and you feel ghosted. You feel like, where are you? There's no mirror. I need you to be in this with me. And they're like, I can't be in this with you. So they're trying to avoid the depth of the emotion at all costs to keep some sense of regulation. And when I said earlier that they're dysregulated, what I mean by that is it looks different than when the anxious person is dysregulated. It looks more like, I can't do this. I'm shutting down emotionally completely. So you'll notice that connection for a narcissist means I'm minimizing you. I'm turning everything to be about me. And instead of, really going into it or being present for it, it's about control and minimizing your needs so that they don't have to feel inadequate to not fulfill your needs. The avoidant is the same. They feel inadequate to fulfill your need, but it's because they're trying to never feel like it's their fault. They can never be wrong because they're so afraid of what's wrong within their own emotions because they don't even feel their emotions. They're trying to suppress those emotions that are coming up when you're not feeling good about something. They're trying to suppress the guilt, the shame, the having to take responsibility for you, because when they were a kid, they felt this over responsibility for their own emotions because no one was there for their emotions. So they are definitely trying to not feel suffocated by emotion, whereas the narcissist is just not even dealing with that. They're making it about themselves so that you don't have a need. They trick you into having less needs by minimizing your needs, by saying it's not even a big deal, by saying, what about me? I went through this. So the narcissist is very self-focused, whereas the avoidant is busy avoiding any type of emotional intimacy. Now, here is what we do about this. I have worked with many avoidants, and I've worked with a couple of narcissists, but that is, short-lived because they don't like to take any accountability. The avoidants who actually want to heal, we can teach them. And you don't want to be teaching your partner, but like teach through your example. We can teach them how it is actually safe within our own emotional world. And you're not dumping on them. You're just wanting them to hold space for you. So if you tell your avoidant partner, I don't need you to fix this for me or to take the blame for me. I'm just telling you, for me, conscious communication, this is how it feels to me, instead of this is what you did. When we can start to show them how regulated we are in our own emotional state over time, they start to feel safer opening up to your emotional state. And then what is magical about this, when I've worked with avoidants and avoidant couples, when there's a couple that is an avoidant and an anxious, they become more securely attached over time if they're both doing the work, because they start to feel like, wait, this is safe. She or he can handle their own shit. I don't have to take it on. I don't have to be more emotionally vulnerable, but I can be emotionally present. Yes, to have a healthy relationship, you do need a level of emotional vulnerability, but that comes in time with avoidance. And if they don't want to and they just go back into avoidance, then that's not for you. But there are some avoidance that we can work with, and even the avoidance in ourselves, because this is what I know for sure by doing this work for so many years, is that the thing that most people are deeply in avoidance of is the truth of their own inner child and those needs that were not met. They don't want to feel it. They don't want to look at it. They don't want to remember it. And when you're feeling chaotic or dysregulated, it's reminding them of this part of themselves they had to suppress long ago and want to keep it that way. So over time, what we're doing with the avoidant is we're showing them safety in our own emotion. Now, you can say, Candace, that's not my responsibility. What is your responsibility? Is to become safe in your own emotion, yes. And through that example, they can start to see that you're not actually picking them apart or pulling them in too much, but you're actually having them as a partner who's not regulating you emotionally. That's what a lot of anxious attached people do. They need a regulator in right? Their partner. No, I'm regulating myself, but I need you to hold space for me while I do that. This is a progression. I want to mention to you guys that I am doing my 8-week course live, Inner Work. It starts March 2nd. And you can join any month. You can join any month, but it is specifically 2 months. We do offer now 4 months and 6 months because I've built a whole bunch of new content in my inner work, because I know how to master these things from from start to finish. And so if you want to join my inner work, the link is below. I also want to mention to you my beautiful retreat that's happening the end of May in the Caribbean. If you want to check that out, women only, please click that link. Last but not least, my book is coming out in April. So if you want to find out about the launch and join me for the virtual launch and get a bunch of fun goodies, click the link below that says book interest form. Please share this with at least one person you think it could help. I really love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Go say hi to me on Instagram. I'm doing reels about this every single day, and I have a lot of upcoming events. You've heard about a few of them. So make sure you're in the queue and get on my newsletter. I love you guys. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you soon.